Did you know that there is not a single technology that lets you shave on Mars?
This is the review for the game Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, the good and bad about it.
By the end of this review, you will know if this game is for you.
We have 6 burning questions that we will answer about this game, but before we do that, Giannis, what is this game all about?
In Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, you play as a corporation that is terraforming Mars. Quite self-explanatory.
In Terraforming Mars, you play cards to score points. You score points by raising oxygen, temperature, or creating oceans on Mars. Or you can also find the points on your cards, wherever there's specifically the symbol. The game ends when all 3 requirements are finished. Temperature, oxygen, or all the ocean tiles are flipped. And whoever has the most points wins.
So, just to terraform Mars, you only need to do those 3 things.
Only
Oceans, temperature, and air.
Yeah, and you ready to live there.
The game is played in a series of rounds. Each round, each player will select a phase card. Once everyone has selected their phase card, you flip them over simultaneously. And this round, those will be the phases you will resolve.
So the first phase is development phase, where everybody can play 1 green card. Green cards usually are the production cards, which give you different resources whenever production happens.
Second phase is construction phase. This phase lets you play down either blue or red cards. Blue cards give you action abilities, and red cards are usually instant effects.
Blue cards can be passive or active actions. Yeah. So there might be something that gives you bonuses all the time.
Yeah.
Or you can use the other actions in the action phase, which is the third phase. So you can use the action of any blue card that you have played, or you can use the standard actions here, which is the main way how you improve any of the 3 conditions: temperature, oxygen, or ocean tiles.
Phase number 4 is the production phase, where you actually get credits, you get oxygen. No, that's not true, you don't get oxygen.
I hope you get oxygen. The whole game you have to hold your breath, and then whoever is still alive wins the game, right? That's how it goes.
Fourth phase is the production phase, where you get your income. You get credits, you get heat, and you get plants, which you can spend to terraform Mars later on and buy new cards.
And the last phase, 5th phase, is research phase, where you get extra cards. Draw however many cards you can at that point and choose which ones to keep.
To play a card, you have to pay the credit cost that is in top left corner, and at the bottom you see all the effects that the card gives you.
Sometimes the cards will give you immediate the benefits, as well as sometimes it will help you in the production or later phases.
There's a sea of action cards, but to help you and guide you through the game, at the beginning of the game, each player gets 2 corporation cards. You look at those and keep 1. And each of those has a starting amount of money, plus some special abilities. Usually it's play certain cards cheaper, or when you play a certain card that gives you certain ability that helps you on your way to terraform Mars.
So that's the whole game. You play phase cards, you all do the phases that you just played, and get points or resources because of it.
And once you've terraformed Mars, the game ends at the end of that phase, and who has the most victory points wins that game.
We're gonna talk a lot more about this game in this video, so let's jump to the first question. And the first question is:
who would you buy it for?
Who would you buy this for? For your grandma or for your daughter?
Come on, everybody.
Who would you buy this for?
No? Come on, you know the words.
1.
Okay, here we go.
Every gamer.
I have card gamers.
Well, this is a bit heavier game than the usual Catan. There's
Yes,
a lot of cards that
definitely.
you need to understand and build these systems. I think everybody could find something in this game for themselves. There's even a bit of psychology with these cards as well. Jans probably will need money, so he's probably gonna play production, so I can play this card. And then suddenly he doesn't. So there's a bit of psychology. There's a lot of strategy in this game. The engine building, I think, will make everybody feel good. That's why every gamer.
This is a card game. I mean, Terraforming Mars was a card game, but this is a card game. And if you like gamery card games, then this is right up your alley. What is the best thing about this game? 3, 2, 1.
Boom. This is a lot quicker game than a lot of other gamer games, as well as the Terraforming Mars, the big one as well. And I was really afraid that it will miss this feeling of progress that you've done, that you built something that's really huge and satisfying, and you discovered something new, and it still keeps it. It still might take 2 hours to play, to be honest. We just played it 2 people, hour and a half. But time investment here is awesome when you get back this feeling of satisfaction and progress and building something. It's really, really cool.
I mean, there's a ton of cards. There's a whole pile of cards that will come up in different ways. No two games are going to be even remotely alike. There's a lot of variety there. I did like the art for Terraforming Mars. I know I'm probably in minority. And I think this is improved, but I still like all the different art there is. And it's like, feels like, is every single card different?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a ton of art in there. Then the size. This is quite a small box, but that's quite a big game in this small box. Doesn't take a lot of shelf space. Just like the original Terraforming Mars, the rules are not that complex. Pretty easy to learn and play.
This game doesn't have the shaving technology, but does it have subscribing technology?
It doesn't have to, because you already have the subscribe technology. Just, use it, please.
Or maybe they have already subscribed.
Or maybe they have already used this technology. And then, thank you. What is the worst thing about this game?
3, 2, 1.
First of all, the length is who knows how long. Might be longer, might be quicker, because it all depends on the players. If nobody selects the third phase, which is the action phase, where you have to spend the resources to terraform Mars, the game is not gonna end that anytime soon. So I could see this being quite a bit of a gap. First time I played, I thought, a 2-player game should be quick. No. The next thing is the multiplayer solo. There's just, I don't care what you're doing. And if I did care, me following you by mid-game is impossible. I'm not saying you're cheating. I'm not saying you're cheating. But you just might be making mistakes that I have to keep track of. And if I can't keep track of those mistakes...
Especially if you play with somebody that plays for the first time, they can even ask you some questions. Did I just get this much money? You don't know. You can check all the cards and calculate it, but it's such a hassle. Sometimes you just don't know if they play correctly. You just hope they do.
Every time that somebody's grabbing a couple of yellow cubes, I think they calculated incorrectly.
It makes you feel that all the time.
Next one is... It's a minor thing, but really, the full name of the game is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, the Terraforming Mars card game. Good luck with the expansion for this. And the last thing is the game we recently played. You were just whole game, oh man, this is just perfect. Oh, look at that. This is just the card I need. And I'm like drawing and saying, nope. Oh, yes. But 2 turns ago. It's not gonna make you lose necessarily. It still comes down to your decisions because you can't play all the cards. You have to make choices.
Where I felt it the most, you need to play specific phases. And in this specific, for example, second phase, you can play only blue and red cards. But maybe in your hand you get only green cards. And that has happened a lot of times. Green cards. And even if I get a red card, it might have some requirements that I'm not gonna fulfill ever. Card draw feels really random at times.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And it also feels really bad, like you said. If I can't fulfill the phase you selected, I feel like I'm behind.
I guess that's something you have to sacrifice when you try to make it smaller, quicker, and faster. I'm completely fine with that, but just, know that that can happen.
How long is the honeymoon? 2, 1, go. 48 what?
48 times. In the main box, you have 12 project cards. And you can play from 1 to 4 players. So if you multiply those numbers, you get 48. Each project card that you're going to play will guide you through a specific direction that you should play the game. Each game for you will feel different, at least 12 times. And also, it's a brilliant solo game. I tried it out. I really, really enjoyed it as a solo game as well. And playing it with 2 players is completely different. For me, at least, felt completely different than playing with 4 players. The tempo changes each time really felt different.
What about Terraforming Mars? And now I'm going to ask you a question. Yeah. What about Terraforming Mars? How do you feel? When are you going to play Terraforming Mars next time?
I will play this a lot more often than Terraforming Mars. Okay. A lot more often. Okay. This is a lot more convenient to set up, a lot more quicker to play, especially with more players. I would just practically go for this, and I get similar feelings. Not to say that this is a better game or that one is, but this is a lot more convenient for me.
This is a good game on its own. You don't need to know anything about Terraforming Mars. It's a really good card game, and the honeymoon's going to last quite a bit.
48 times.
What's the best alternative?
This is short for Terraforming Mars. Obviously, it's an alternative, but I thought it's really important to actually compare them too. This gives me the same feeling, it's just quicker. Systems that you make in front of you and build, and the cards are actually almost the same.
Here, you just bam, throw them in your line of 20 green, I'm exaggerating, 10 green cards or more, not exaggerating now. And then you just forget about it. And you just, oh yeah, right, just adds production. Oh yeah, it might give me some points at the end. That's it. But I felt that in Terraforming Mars, you're working around this card. Okay, I have this card, so I have to something to get this card. And then I'll do that to help this card as well. And I'm kind of focusing around these cards. But here I'm just like, next. I don't care, just next card, do. Well, not don't care, but they're just a bigger mass of cards, which is cool. You know, there's a lot of variety, you play a lot of cards. But I felt there's more emphasis on those, you know, cards that choose to keep there than here.
No, not really. That's why maybe you lose. I would agree that there's less emphasis on like specific cards for sure.
But you are a big Terraforming Mars fan,
yeah,
and I am not, so take that with a grain of salt. Yeah.
You're not gonna think about where you place your cities, how you will get any achievements. There's a lot less interaction between players because of this. You're not competing with them, you're basically competing with yourself. How efficient can you be? This is the difference between these two things, for sure.
Anyway, now here's for the real and the best alternative is Race for the Galaxy. The biggest similarity being the phases. You just choose phases, same thing like here. Other than that, it's also a card game, things change. One thing that I feel that Race for the Galaxy does better is it ends in like 30 minutes or so, because there's a limit of cards you can have. If you already have Terraforming Mars and you have Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition, the Terraforming Mars card game, then get Race for the Galaxy, because I feel it's not going to be similar to this, but it will be similar to this. Final rating.
3, 2, 1. Final rating is...
Oh, you must have it.
I absolutely love this game. Terraforming Mars is one of my favorite games of all time. And I actually would say that this is somewhere around there for sure. I just feel like this is quicker, much easier to get to the table, so I will play it a lot more. I have already played it a lot of times, and I just enjoy this system, and I think that any gamer, as I said before, can enjoy it. That's why it's absolutely a must-have, and I will recommend it to everybody.
It's a fantastic game. There's a lot of work has gone into it, and I agree. Once you play a couple of games of this is going to be much quicker than Terraforming Mars, even with 2. If you want, like you say, the same feel, and I'm going to say a similar game, then Terraforming Mars Expedition is a fantastic game. And since I love Race for the Galaxy, and this is something like that, I mean, I enjoy it as well. So for me, maybe this could be a little bit shorter. Maybe that's why it's not a must-have. Other than that, it's a really, really good game. Fantastic, I mean.
Hopefully after this video, you'll know that you like or you don't like Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition, the Terraforming Mars card game. And do all the good things that really help us improve our channel.
Subscribe, like, share, and, just comment. What do you think about this game? And see you next time.
Bye!
You can never shave on Mars. There's no technology.